There's this horrible thing we started doing now where we see two characters that totally don't go together and we're like, oh, I totally ship it.
Hey everybody, Winter Widow here with some exciting news from the San Diego Comic-Con Marvel reveal panel. There were several reveals that really rocked fans, and I'm going to talk about the three that have me geeking out the hardest. Hawkeye, Falcon, Winter Soldier, and, of course, Black Widow. Now, I've got some facts, I've got some speculations, and a whole lot of excitement, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. With Hawkeye, it's something I've personally been looking forward to for a very long time. I think he's a very underrated character. He's got a lot more to him than just being an Avenger or being the best friend of Natasha Romanoff. He's got, like, this whole great personality that hasn't been explored yet. And I think that this Hawkeye show is really going to do that. We do know that he is going to be training his protege, Kate Bishop, and that they're going to cover some of his time as Ronin. Now, of course, Jeremy Renner's coming back to be Clint Barton. That's super exciting. I don't think anybody else could pull that off just the way he does. Now, the role for Kate Bishop has not been filled yet, and that is something that I will be keeping an eye on, as I'm so super stoked about it. Now, looking at the title reveal, which I think is amazing, the art is a lot like the comics from Matt Fraction. Now, this has me super, super stoked because that is my favorite version of Hawkeye, as you get to really see Clint Barton at his messiest, and of course his awesomeness, because he is like this reckless, coffee-drinking, like, nutcase, and I love it. I love him to death. But you get to see the purest form of Clint Barton, which I absolutely love. And I really hope that they do Kate Bishop justice, as Barton really hasn't gotten it up until now. Also, the coverage of Ronin. That is something that I am super excited about. I really loved Ronin in Endgame. I feel like he was a very dark character. He was a very dark turn for Barton, considering he had lost his family and all that. Now, I'm a bit fuzzy on the details about his time as Ronin when it comes to the comics, as I haven't gotten to that point just yet. But I'm looking forward to figuring it out. So, in hindsight, super excited. Holy crap, let's do this. Also, the casting of Kate Bishop. It hasn't been done yet, and I'm super excited to figure out who it's going to be. But I have no idea who I think would be a good idea. So why don't you let us know in the comments who you think would be Kate Bishop the best. Alright, now the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This is something I've been completely losing my mind over ever since it was first announced. Probably about as much as the Black Widow, if maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I haven't decided yet. Not much is known. We do know that the working title is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We do know that it is going to cover the time after Endgame. Steve's retired and passed the shield on to Sam. It's going to be Sam's coming into the character of Captain America, how he carries the shield and the things that he does. And also covering the time that Bucky is trying to find a life outside of his association with Steve and his time with Hydra, and after being dusted for 5 years. I do predict a kind of a redemption arc for the metal-armed assassin, and honestly, Bucky is one of my favorite characters in the MCU. Now, what we do know is that, of course, it will be Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan. We also do know that Daniel Brühl will be coming back to do his part as Helmut Zemo. When we last saw him, he was actually in jail after he had been taken down by the Black Panther, whose original thing was to take down Bucky, thinking that he was responsible for the attack on Vienna. Of course, we know, he didn't do it. Now, looking at it, there's really not a whole lot more information out there just yet. There was whispers of Sharon Carter, but I didn't see anything on that as well at the reveal. And, of course, we did get the title art, which is pretty awesome. Nothing about costumes or anything just yet. Mackie did mention in an interview with MTV that he did go through the fitting for his costume, but nothing was revealed. So hopefully soon, and we're just waiting. So what are your predictions for the show? What do you think is going to happen, and what would you like to see? And finally, The Black Widow. This movie I've been waiting for ever since I first saw Scarlett Johansson come out as Natasha Romanoff in Iron Man 2. I've been like, oh my god, we need a Black Widow movie forever. So, now that it's happening, I'm like, okay, it needs to happen like now. Unfortunately, we still have to wait till May 1st of 2020 to get this movie. So far, the names that have been dropped for roles are David Harbour, better known for his part in the Netflix series Stranger Things, as Alexei Shostakov, the Red Guardian, the Soviet equivalent to Captain America, also known as Black Widow's husband, or betrothed. Then we've got Florence Poe as Yelena Belanova, which is the next Black Widow. She carries on her mantle and basically just becomes the Black Widow. Now, in the comics, there's something of enemies, but eventually they start to work together when Natasha's able to break through some of the brainwashing. We also have O.T. Fig Benley. It's such a hard name to say, as Mason. And from what I gather is that he's a fixer and has some kind of romantic interest in Natasha. I'm tripping over my words today. And basically, well, that's what was hinted at by OT himself. I don't know how true it is, but I guess we'll see. Also, we do have Rachel Weisz joining the cast of the MCU as Melina Vostokova. Now, her role isn't quite clear, but if I'm right, based on what I know about the Black Widow and her background, Melina Vostokova is actually the Iron Maiden. Now, she's one that I'm not familiar with, so I don't know much about her. I do know that she wears armor and that she's a highly trained Russian assassin. And that's basically my basic knowledge on Iron Maiden. Now, if it is her, I don't know. I kind of have a feeling maybe she's headmistress of the Red Room, but I really don't know. Now, we do know that it's already shooting, which is great. I know there's been a couple of leaks of like set pictures, but I haven't really seen a whole lot. So what I do know for sure is that it is set between the time of Civil War and Infinity War, basically what's going on during that span of time that everybody is like, hey, was everybody just on vacation? This movie is going to fill in the blanks for the Black Widow, which is something that I personally am super excited about. I was crushed with her fate in Endgame. It was just something that was like, no, not that, not Natasha. It was awful. But so I am happy to see that she is getting a standalone movie. Now, there's been some speculation on the Taskmaster. Now, the Taskmaster I don't know a whole bunch about, but I do know that he's faced several notable characters, such as Deadpool, of course, Black Widow. I believe he's dealt with Captain America as well. But there's no real information on that just yet, whether or not he's actually involved. Another thing is, and thanks to a really big Twitter fan, I did happen to see some title credits. It's, of course, it's there, and it could be fan-made because you never know with the internet, but I did see the title credits, and in there we get the name of none other than Sebastian Stan. Now, Sebastian Stan, of course, we know is the actor that plays Bucky Barnes. So, for me, I'm like, okay, is this a throw to my favorite ship of all time, Bucky Nat? We don't know yet. Hopefully, personally, I'm all for it. But what I do know is that Barnes did have a big part in her training in the Red Room. I also know that they had an affair that was real romantic, but they couldn't be together, and it was a big mess. So, but that was also during her time married to Harbour's Red Guardian. So, It's a big possibility at some Bucky Nat action, and I personally am super stoked for that. Now, that's about all I have for you on that, which once more information comes out, I will definitely be making another video and definitely be touching on it, as I am super excited for that. So, thank you for joining us today on Geeks of the Web, and I hope that you are looking forward to these movies and these shows as much as I am. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe,